So we organized the first pageant in 1991 and had workshops that went on for many months. And we built the pageant. In the first year, thousands of people participated, and it was an all-day long 12-hour pageant, and it went to about 50 different community gardens. And at every garden there was a performance and ceremony that celebrated the history of that garden and its current struggles for preservation. And I was interested in the pageant art form because it involved music, dance, theater, poetry. It engaged thousands, of different people within a community to basically enact and tell a story. Living on the Lower East Side, 1990, if you can imagine, now there are only 48 community gardens. Back then there were over 60 community gardens. So that was the whole thing. I was looking around the neighborhood and I just said, wow, these gardens are just amazing. I mean, they were created out of vacant rubble-strewn lots, city neglect out of the 70s. And people living in the neighborhood and also in other communities throughout New York City had said, we're tired of living in a dump in a dangerous place. We're going to improve it for ourselves. And it was really a volunteer initiative. So back in 1990, there were over 60 community gardens, and in response to them being threatened by proposed development, I said, well, let me see what I can do in my own community to try to protect it. Because I knew Adam Purple's garden had recently been bulldozed and was trying to see, well, what other options? So my approach to trying to impact an issue in my own neighborhood was to apply this pageant art form, sort of as a form of community organizing.
You stand before La Plaza Cultural. Let the children play, let there be love. Listen to the birds sing in the willows. Viva La Plaza! Enjoy it!
Yeah! I would say that right now, we are not far from zero in terms of making progress. As a matter of fact, we are losing gardens. Let's say from 15, they will save 2 or 1 gardens. And that is basically the position that different communities are coming out. Some community, which is have already information, basically are not saving any garden.
Miguel and I were married in Green Oasis Garden, and Manu says that Clara was conceived in the garden. I won't confirm or deny that.
Early this morning, down on Forsyth Street, a huge bluebird flew down, and a band of garden spirits crossed into our world over a rainbow bridge. They were here to start a journey to honor and protect all the gardens of the Lower East Side.
Apply the idea of a pageant as a way of mobilizing the community, and essentially by going garden to garden to garden over the course of 12 hours and all the 9 months of workshops and community building that happened. I mean, with 50 different community partners from different sectors of the community. We were essentially doing what is community organizing, except our approach to the organizing was through the arts and engaging people to exploring these issues, by creating performances, by creating visual art, music, poetry, dance. So you have all these 6 months of both partnership building and creative collaboration that then result in the culminating public cultural action, the pageant itself. So if you had just what would be called a protest, maybe you'd get activists involved, but you wouldn't get the sort of larger, diverse group of the community that found different entry points into what we were doing. And so I always say that the approach of what we were trying to do to impact issues is not protest. It's what I call really joyous affirmation and engaging the community to affirm what are these positive assets and, the gardens and natural sustainability sites or the river, and reconnect people to these natural sites within the urban environment. The project ended up developing over 15 years, and as the gardens got more and more threatened by development, we then branched out to not just do the pageant, but then to also form a garden preservation coalition. So we had a Lower East Side Garden Preservation Coalition, and then when Mayor Giuliani went after and tried to sell off the gardens throughout all of New York City, we reached out, engaged gardeners from Harlem, the Bronx, Upper West Side, and Brooklyn, and formed a citywide coalition. In our ideal dream was to see if we could preserve the gardens and preserve them permanently, but whether that could be a reality or not was really unclear when we were up against the largest development interests in New York City.
To say something with this, what do you think it is?
What do they mean to you, those gardens in New York City?
They mean sanity and humanity and community and beautiful stuff.
And what's the purpose of the rally today?
The rally today is to plead with our government, our leaders, and let them know how much these gardens mean to us, and please don't destroy them, because they intend to destroy every single one of them.
You think they will listen to your plea?
I think they will eventually, whether or not it's too late to save most of the gardens, who knows.
I don't know, it was an amazing example of how a community was able to tell its story, take action, and preserve, what they had created.
You'll be known by your fruit, the fruit you bear. In other words, this is not one little garden. This is not one little garden. We have worked for 10 years on 15,000 square feet.
The village is not going anywhere. It's going to be more things happening all the time.
Hello, gardeners. Hello. Hello, open space people.
Hey, what's up?
Hi. Today is about New York City's green space and the present administration's lack of understanding of the value of that space and the crucial role it plays in a community's well-being.
The winds of the West is a place of deep waters to look for. The winds of the West is the empress of the Pacific waters, home of the beautiful shellfish. Come, Mother Jaguar, come, Sister Jaguar, come, the Rainbow Jaguar. Come and give us power and strength so that we